Hi guys, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I'm going to teach you the date methods. When you create a date object, when you create a date object, then you are able to perform so many operations on the date. You can get only the year, you can get year, you can get day, you can get date, you can get minutes, months, or you can set these things. So now we are going to do this thing. But before this here, I'm going to show you some little methods that are used to convert the date into the string or into the numbers. Here is first of all variable x is equal to new, and here is date, and now date is created. You can say that x is the object of the date, and now here I'm going to convert this date into the string, and I'm gonna alert it out. Here is x dot to string. Here is this. Now this is the object, x is the object, and now its date is converted into the string, and then this statement will return the date in the string. You can save it in a variable, but I'm going to alert it out. Here you see that now it is a string, and it is just simple like the others. And here I want to tell you another thing. You can also convert the date into the milliseconds, because we need this thing. This is an important thing, and there are many operations that we will perform on the date by using the milliseconds. First of all, we have to write the number method, and then in between we can pass the date object. So now this x have the today date, but when we pass this x object in the number, so it will convert this date into the milliseconds. These are the milliseconds. So first of all, here I want to tell you something, that these milliseconds since 1 January 1997, here is here I'm going to add the comment, then you can understand it clearly. These milliseconds or from since 1 January 1970, because this is the first date of the JavaScript, or you can see that this is the previous or last one date of the JavaScript. So these milliseconds that is returned by this by converting this date, if we convert these milliseconds, so we can get the real date. How we can get the real date? Here I'm going to what we need to do, we just need to pass these milliseconds into this date object. Here I will do this thing. Here is what we need to do. Here is this statement is returning the milliseconds, and here is I'm going to get the milliseconds from this statement. Here is the milliseconds. Here is, and I'm going to save these milliseconds into the variable milli. It is a milli, and this milli variable have the milliseconds. And now if we pass these milliseconds into the date object, date function, here is like this, date and parenthesis and milli. Here is the milli. So now milliseconds are passed into the date function, and now this date function will return the today date. Here you see that today date is returned. Why? Because these milliseconds that are created by this x, because x have the today date, that's why the milliseconds are of the today date since 1970. I will clear this thing. When the milliseconds are created, so these milliseconds, you can say that these milliseconds are counted from the 1 January 1970 to the 7th May 2016. These milliseconds that is in the milli variable, or the full milliseconds that is between these two dates, 7th May 2016 and the 1 January 1970. All the milliseconds in between two dates is returned by this statements. So that's why milliseconds are stored in this variable, and when we pass these milliseconds into the date function, so it has returned the today date, because the milliseconds are counted from the 1970 to the today date, so that's why it print the current date. And in this way you can handle these milliseconds. So now I'm going to tell you about another things that is used to print the date in the more readable format, you can say that. And here first of all I'm going to comment it, and here is what we need to do. If we create any date like X we have created on the top dot, we can convert it to the UTC. This is the display standard, so it will print the date in the more readable format. Here is UTC is a capital, S of the string is also capital. It will return the date in the other format, so we can save it or print out it. Here is, you can see that this date is more readable, time zone is removed, and comma is added, and day is at the first position, so it is readable. And next function is also another function, that is the toDate string. Here is toDate string, D of the date and S of the string is capital, and here you see that this is the short date, it is the day of the week and then date. So these things are okay, you can use these things. And now I'm going to tell you about the functions of the date that you can perform on the date. Here is first of all, make it in the comment, and now here you see that this is X have the full date, full current date, today date. But if we want to only get a single thing, like if we want to get only the year, current hours, current milliseconds, minutes, and the month, or the date of today is 7th, if we want only one thing, so how to get it? Here is, I'm going to tell you about this thing. This X have the date, and from the date we will extract, first of all I'm going to extract the get full year. I'm going to extract only the year from the date. Here is, it will return the year, but you can save it, or you can I'm going to print it. And here is get is must, it is used to get the full year, and here you can see that it is just showing us full year 2016. And in this way you can also get the month. Here is, month is May month, and here is the day, you can also get the day. So now let's first of all the month is print out on the screen. The month is May, and the January have the 0 index, then February have the 1, March have the 2, April have the 3, and May have the 4th index. So now the 4th index of the month is printed on the screen. Here you can see that 4th, because May have the 4th month according to the index. And here I'm going to in the print, and if we click OK, then the day is printed on the screen. So what is the day? Day is not this day is means Saturday, Friday, Thursday. What is today is Saturday. So here I want to tell you something, that the week is started from the Sunday. So the Sunday have the 0 index, like in the month, in the list of the month, January have the 0 index. So now Sunday have the 0 index, Monday have 1, Tuesday have 2 index, Wednesday have 3, Thursday have 4th, Friday have 5 index, Saturday have the 7th index. So now 7th is printed on the screen because here is 6th index. This is the 6th day because this is the 6th one. 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, it is the 6th. Today is the Saturday, so that have the 6th index, or you can say that thing. And now I'm going to get the date of the month. Today is 7th of the May, so here is, you have to write date, so it will only give us the date. Here you can see that 7th of May. And you can also get the minutes. Here is, I'm going to get the minutes and hours. And here is hours, and it will give us hours. Now at this time here, this is my time, so now at this time there is 2:17 a.m. so it will give us hours. And let's see, here is 2, so it have give us 2 because now at this time there is 2:17, so it give us 2, that is the hours. You can also get the minutes. Here is the minutes, here is minutes, and now here is minutes is 18. Now it become 2:18, so here is the minutes is 18. And you can also get the seconds. Here is the seconds, here is seconds. S is capital, here is S is capital. Here is, now it will give us seconds, so here is the seconds are 31. And now reload the page, so here you see that 36 seconds, now it is 39, 40. So these are the seconds. You can get these seconds. You can also get the milliseconds. Here I'm going to get the milliseconds, but the milliseconds are not visible to us, so we can't judge it. Here is milliseconds. Seconds, here is seconds, and I hope these words are correct, and it is not. And here is seconds, and here you see that 4:34. Now if we refresh it, so these are continuously changing, so these are the milliseconds. And the third one and the last one function is, you can get this date. This is the 2-day date. Here is this is the 2-day date. You can get this date, you can get the millisecond. Like this is the number function that will convert 2-day date into the milliseconds, and the milliseconds are counted from the 1970 to the 2016 7th May. So in this way you have another function for this thing. Here I'm going to add some space here, and here is its function name is get time. Here is the time, here is get time, and here is the milliseconds from 1970 to the since 1970 to the 7th May 2016 till to this time. And these are all the gets functions. What is this mean? What is the gets functions? Gets functions that will get anything. All of these gets functions are getting the value of the hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, month, day, date. But there are many other functions that are the set functions. By using these functions, you can set only the month, day, date, hours, minutes, all these things. So let's discuss these functions in the next video. So thank you for watching this video.